At this time, we're going to introduce our inductees, who are escorted in by current students from Shrewsbury High School. First up, from the class of 1967, Skip Parmenter, escorted by senior Caitlin Unilli. Representing Maurice Butch Bona from the class of 1968 is his nephew, Jim Bona. Representing from the class of 1982, Sandra Decker, is her wife, Rose Eastman. From the class of 1987, Chris McGinley, escorted by junior Annika Nelson. From the class of 1997, Aaron Howard Garrity, escorted by senior Sean Salt. From the class of 1998, Tim Finico, escorted by junior Gracie Hester. To let you know that senior Grace Gavarino, escorted Jim Bona, and improvement experience, escorted Rose Eastman. From the class of 2005, Todd Kittleson, escorted by senior Caitlin Unilli. From the class of 2011, John Murray, escorted by junior Annika Nelson. From the class of 2014, Dominique Hall, escorted by junior Matt McDonough. Next, Ian Early, coach of the Alpine Ski team, escorted by senior Ryan Iadella. Next, Keith Hochstein, head basketball coach, escorted by senior Grace Barrino. Next, Phil Chavato, head softball coach, accompanied by junior Gracie Hester.
You guys did a good job.
And our contributor induction for this year, Jim and Paul Bonomo. Just a few brief remarks before we begin the induction ceremony. My name is Jim Pignataro, member of the Hall of Fame Committee. I'd like to welcome everybody to this year's induction ceremony. We have an outstanding group of athletes, coaches, and contributors that will be inducted this year. I'd like to thank the committee for their efforts in helping to select this great group that are going in this year. I'd also like to introduce people that are in attendance that have previously been inducted. And I would ask those inductees to please stand when I call your name. From the class of 1983, Martha White Ordone. From the class of 1963, Mo Biseglia. From the class of 1964, I coach Bob Munzner. From the class of 2002, Brian Anderson. From the class of 1973, contributor Nick Todisco. From the class of 1968, Billy Actress. From the class of 1962, and coach Dutch Holland. In the class of 2000, James Perdomo. In the class of 1978, Ed Russell. In the class of 1983, Mike Kelly. In the class of 1975, Kevin Ryder. And hopefully everybody, the former inductees that are here tonight. So thank you for being here and thank everybody for coming to support these inductees here tonight. At this time, Chris will direct the tables to our buffet, and then after the buffet, we'll have our ceremony. Thank you. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the student athletes at Shrewsbury High School for being here tonight. So if you give them a round of applause. They're leaving now, so I can't imagine why they wouldn't want to stay with us, but they're taking off. But thank you again for being here. We appreciate it. At this time, I'd like to introduce Jay Todisco, who's the athletic director of Shrewsbury High School, to say a few words.
Thanks, Jim. Good evening, and welcome to tonight's Shrewsbury High School Athletic Hall of Fame. I'd like to give a special thank you to my athletic department student interns, Annika, who is here, Nelson, and McKenna Halloran, for their hard work in putting together today's program. So thank you very much to both Annika and McKenna. I would also like to thank you, the SHS Hall of Fame Committee that has been working with us, led by Jim, coming together with our inductees and working together to select this year's class. So thank you to our Hall of Fame committee members that are here tonight. I'd also like to thank our Boosters Association, some of them seated in the back, for taking care of us tonight and organizing and help paying for this event. So thank you to our booster officers. And I want to really say extra special thank you to them for all they do for our athletic program. I know if they wouldn't mind just standing up for a second, I'm not sure if Tony's here, hopefully he is, but if our booster, yeah, it's the one. It's rather interesting. We kind of changed directions in 2006 when I took over as athletic director and took all our booster clubs and joined them together. And, you know, this is like an estimate right now, but I think with the way we've organized things over the last 19 years, I think we've raised close to maybe over $10 million for our athletic program. So that's all right, I gotta stop for a minute because I'm kind of freaked out. I gotta tell you, I'm gonna go a little off script. So, for those who don't know, I'm a graduate of Shrewsbury High School, and I'm getting those eerie feelings, okay, back to when we were in school. So the inductees will probably kind of feel my pain a little bit. Coach Hochstein was my assistant principal in middle school. Do you know what it was like to be 5'0", 100 and to see a man like that standing in the middle of the hallway when you were late for class and sprinting down the hallway? Coach, seeing you tonight brought some flashbacks of you and Mr. Kevel at both corners at the old Sherwood Middle School. So, but welcome, I'm glad you're here. And then I look here at this table here and I got Coach McGinley, always yelling at me at practice. Gus, are you ever going to complete a pass? I'm blocking for you. Are you going to get something done today? But I had the privilege to play under Coach McGinley, Coach Holland during those days, and just seeing everyone here, it's awesome. And then now you go to friends I grew up with, and his, you know, if whatever his speech is tonight, if Tim Finicom tells you it was all because of him, it wasn't. Okay? It was because of me and his big brother Pat, beating him up in the neighborhood, making sure he was tough. The worst part was when he walked in the door as an 8th grader, and we were seniors, and looking up to Tim. I think normally you're supposed to be intimidate those underclassmen. Yeah, that didn't happen that year. And obviously he had a great career, so congratulations. And also congratulations to everyone, as far as my former athletes I had the privilege to watch perform at our school, and especially that I was fortunate enough to coach over the years. It's hard to believe. I think I said it to one of our guests tonight. 27 years as a teacher coach at the high school, and the last 19 as an AD. It's been an absolute privilege. Absolute privilege. And tonight is that type of night that kind of makes me feel unbelievable about this job. So I want to just congratulate everyone there. And I know I totally went off script here, so bear with me. To you, the inductees, I don't know how much you realize how much you've impacted even the athletes of today. The stuff that the training that you've had to endure, the sacrifices you had to make, your families. We look at this holiday and sacrificing and probably the biggest night out of the year, right, for high school reunions and being here, and all the work that you've done over the years. So I just really want to say congratulations to all of you for the effort that you have put in as either an athlete, coach, or a contributor. Over the years, high school athletics has changed, with more emphasis on our athletic success and urgency to win at all costs, or even the individual to obtain a college scholarship has made things difficult for athletes to play multiple sports. You don't see that often, and you look at here and everyone what they've done as athletes have played multiple sports. This generation is influenced by club sports and placing emphasis on individual statistics compared to what the athletes in this room were about team and about putting this school first. However, Shrewsbury High School, I will tell you, will continue to promote the team first with the goals of having fun and learning to manage their time, learning athletes learning to self-advocate, and most importantly, be proud colonials to wear the uniform. We continue to work on our athletic culture. Our hopes and expectations for our coaching staff and athletes is to continue to foster a fun, hard work, good sportsmanship, accountability through personal responsibility. We seek to provide the skills of our student athletes that will guide them to successful contributors to our society. Our staff promotes these values by the athletes having each focus on the small details in their training and preparation for their athletic events. Having values bring us in line with the bigger goals and expectations set forth for our teams each season. Ultimately, we do this through the promotion of a slogan of effort, attitude, discipline. Our football coach, John Aloisi, brought this to our football program, and has allowed us to administer these three important words across the entire athletic program. Our effort, attitude, discipline are all attributes that our coaches and student athletes can control on a daily basis. I am confident that the effort, attitude, and discipline of our inductees are the reasons why you are being honored here tonight, this evening. In most public high school athletic programs, budgets are not fully funded, or athletes are required to do more than just train in their respective sports like back in our day. They are forced to raise money in order to help fund our programs, with the difference being covered by either athletic fees or major fundraising. We are grateful that our superintendent and school administration continue to work to provide us with the necessary resources to the best of their ability. With all the challenges I have mentioned, athletes today continue to be proud to wear their school colors. They continue to provide fond memories and experiences of representing the community and school that you were fortunate enough to experience in high school. At the high school, we preach to the students to give back to the community that supports them and reflects the great traditions of Shrewsbury High School that has been set forth by our former athletes and coaches. Tonight, we honor two great alumni in Jim and Paula Benama for their contributions over the years to our athletic program. I am grateful for their generosity and can't thank them enough for the continued support. Jim and Paula helped privately fund and organize a committee to install a new turf stadium that was completed in October of 2018. They were able to raise $1.8 million in 15 months for the stadium that allowed our track and field, soccer, field hockey, lacrosse, and football teams and physical education classes to play on a high-quality surface. Through these funds and the funds from our Boosters Association, community members, and most importantly, our alumni, we've been able to provide our students today and the future with a state-of-the-art athletic facility. The power of our alumni has been amazing. For that, I am truly grateful. To all the inductees, the legacy you have left has been so impactful to our student athletes. Before the Hall of Fame induction in 2019, I asked a couple of seniors from the class of 2020 that were graduating, what was being an SHS, what has being an SHS athlete meant to you? Kate Nelson, class of 2020, a former captain of our football, basketball, and baseball team, stated, when you call yourself an SHS athlete, you're part of a community of brothers and sisters in blue and gold who will always have your back no matter what happens. Grace O'Hara, class of 2020, was a former softball captain, stated, being an SHS athlete is more than just being part of a team. It's being part of a community. Our jerseys don't have our names on the back, only the name on the front. We represent more than ourselves. We represent the former players and the examples of the legacy that you, as inductees or alumni, have left behind for our graduates of Shrewsbury High School. In closing, I would like to once again congratulate all of our inductees, that all of you continue to serve as role models, heroes to SHS athletes of today. Students often come by the office, discuss with me their desire to someday have their names on the wall outside my office next to yours. I hope you enjoy the evening, as all of you deserve this night to be honored for your accomplishments as a member of the Shrewsbury High School Athletics. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay. Our first induction ceremony was held in 1991. For the most part, we've had an induction ceremony every 2 years. An athlete must be out of high school for 10 years, and coaches and contributors are reviewed during each Hall of Fame induction process. For tonight's ceremony, I'll review some of the achievements of our inductees. The program, there is a lot of information about each one, but we apologize ahead of time if there are any mistakes in it. I'll call up the inductee to receive their award from Jay Costa, and they'll say a few words. And at the end of the ceremony, we'll have a group picture of all the inductees, so family and friends can take a picture of the class of 2024 inductees. And at this time, we're ready to begin our induction ceremony. First, Ann Early, head coach of Alpine Ski from 1999 to 2016. Combined teams earned 1 Wachusett Cup Invitational Championship, 3 consecutive Ski Ward Cup Invitational Championships. The girls posted 4 undefeated regular seasons, 4 consecutive conference championships. The girls won back-to-back MIAA Alpine Ski Championships in 2005 and 2006. Ann is currently retired from teaching at Patton School, but she doesn't work too far from right here. She's a landscaper at Cyprian Keys. I'd like to congratulate Ann Early. Please come on.
You can grab it.
So thank you, Jim, Jay, and the whole committee for organizing tonight's induction ceremony. I myself am humbled and honored to be recognized, but I do share it with all of the skiers who came my way during the years that I was coaching. My family, we've come a long way from Go Mommy Go. Thank you for being there from the start, starting the team, being members of the team, and being the all-star volunteers and supporters of the team for my tenure. Thank you for help and support from the Shrewsbury High School staff and administration, the Boosters Association, the Alumni Association, Ski Ward, who runs a fine race program for Lil Hill, the Central Mass Ski League, MIAA, for the state competitions, and all the skiers and families supporting us with transportation, equipment, cheering out in the cold, and the cookouts at states. This journey started with one student athlete who had a burning desire to represent Shrewsbury High School in the world of alpine ski racing. She sparked up some interest, one, grew to two, then three. By the end of that season, we had 10. Ted, Colleen, Caitlin, and I showed up at the first meet as spectators. Kelly skied over to us, frantically said, "Can't race until our coach is here. Will you coach?" Sure, of course, anything for the kids. So I hopped the fence, trudged up the hill to gatekeep, and became the coach. Quickest job interview ever. Now, I was a member of Professional Ski Instructors of America. I had earned a level 1 and level 2 certification, so I was very comfortable with the skiing part. But I wasn't sure what coaching a high school team would involve. I decided to take the chance, jump at this exciting yet unplanned opportunity, and give it a try. I'm so glad that I did. Helping the team evolve was a fantastic experience for me. Who would have thought? 2000, we were a pretty unnoticed group. One girl, one boy qualified for states. The next couple of years, we plugged away, did our own thing, fundraising for bibs, writing a grant for training equipment, getting into the league as a team instead of individuals. Then along came some magic. The years of 2003 to 2006, all the stars aligned, the team went deep. Consistently at our meets, we had 7 of the top 10 spots. They were ready for states, and they were eager to make a mark. In 2003 and 4 brought us back-to-back runner-up trophies. 2005 and 6, they bumped it up a notch and came home with the state championships. The celebrations were monumental. I will tell you, Berkshire East and Wachusett Mountain ski areas never saw this storm coming. The screaming, the jumping, the snow angels, hoisting the trophy, just phenomenal memories. A police parade through town. I was so proud of them for achieving their goals. And I couldn't help but think, wow, in a few short years, we were totally unnoticed, and now we've come to be state champs. The cheap seats to the front row. What a thrilling feeling for everybody. I was just so thrilled for them. But winning medals and trophies is always spectacular, but what we brought to training sessions and to meets was what got us to the wins. Win or lose, every year, we all brought enthusiasm, energy, determination, fun, hard work, and that colonial pride to the ski team. We all did our best. We came away with lasting memories, friendships, ski skills, and yes, a couple of trophies. There are lots of things for which I am thankful for. Having the honor and opportunity to have coached so many outstanding SHS student athletes, including all 3 of our daughters, and ultimately giving them the chance to represent Shrewsbury High School in skiing is without a doubt one of them. Thank you so much for this honor. Is it backwards or thanks.
The next inductee is Phil Chevalier, head varsity softball coach from 2001 to 2016. He is Shrewsbury High School's all-time winningest softball coach with over 200 career wins, 4 Midland League Wachusett League championships, 1 district championship, and 1 state championship. Proud to introduce Phil as induction to our Hall of Fame. Phil?
I want to thank the boosters and the committee for giving me this honor. It's very humbling. We coached at Shrewsbury for 15 years. We started out 0-20 our first season. 4 years later, we won the state championship. And we had a pretty good run in the 11 or so years after that. I started riding the bus, with the baseball team. And the guy I was riding the bus with, hopefully I didn't tell him too much stuff on the bus because he ended up being my boss. Jay was the baseball coach at the time. My inspiration for getting started coaching softball was my daughter Renee. She played 5 years of varsity at West Boylston High School. She started varsity as an 8th grader. We coached her started coaching when she was little, to the point where she went through high school, had a very successful career playing high school, played a couple of years at Providence College, Division I college team. And Renee ended up helping us out in outer years when we were going for the state championship and we were going to playoffs, and she was always around to help us out. In starting my career at Shrewsbury, it started out with meeting Paula Todi for the first time, and she was on the committee that hired me. And I just remember her telling me after they hired me that when they were going through the interview process, she was pretty instrumental in getting me hired because she said, "He's the guy, I want him, I want him." So I hope that's a true story. And Paula was great. She was the JV coach through the entire time we were there, but she always stepped up when JV season ended. She always came right up and jumped on the varsity team and coached us through playoffs, which we were fortunate enough to do quite a bit of after that first year. We were playoffs pretty much every year after that. But with all that being said, my partner in crime for all the coaching that I did at Shrewsbury and for about 6 or 7 years before that, coaching girls in West Boylston and travel teams and other things, was Paul Anderson. This award would not be possible without him. We made a great team. Where my skills weren't enough, Paul's were there. And we were like a tag team with all the teams that we coached over the years. We built a field in West Boylston for the girls out there. When we coached here, we built the batting cage for the girls here. That I think is still up there. Like I said, I'm very humbled with this award. It's the types of awards that you don't expect can tend to be the most rewarding. But I'll close with this. There is one thing as a coach that is more rewarding than any win, than any trophy, than any award. And that's when you look into the eyes of the athlete and you're coaching them and you're trying to explain to them how to do a certain skill or a certain task or play, and you can just see that sucking sound. They're taking it in, they're absorbing that what you're trying to tell them. But the total reward is when you've explained everything, showed them how to do it, and they go out and they execute it, and you can see that they actually did it and they absorbed that. That's the biggest reward you can ever have as a coach. But this is pretty close to it. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you, Phil. Our next inductee is Keith Hochstein, head varsity boys basketball coach from 1978 to 1998. Keith was named the head basketball coach in 1978. For the next 20 years, his team won 210 games. They were Middle League Championship. They were also runners-up in the Clark Tournament. And Keith really wanted to emphasize that he was lucky to have a variety of generous people who served as assistant coaches and who demonstrated great dedication to our student athletes. And also wanted to commend all the student athletes that made T&G All-Star teams and achieved many goals after their time at Shrewsbury High School. Keith Hoxton.
As everyone here knows, Shrewsbury High School is acknowledged throughout the state as having a terrific and wonderful academic and athletic tradition. The name of Shrewsbury High School serves as a beacon of academic and athletic excellence among all public and private schools throughout the state. Knowing this athletic tradition and having personally known many of the people that have been previous award winners, I want to express my sincere thanks to the selection committee for giving me this most appreciated award. I am extremely thankful and grateful. I accept this award with a deep sense of humility, understanding the wonderful and rich tradition that this award represents. To have your name placed alongside men and women who are truly athletic legends is just a tremendous honor. I want to congratulate all of my fellow inductees. I want to thank all of my players, especially the players who were nice enough to come here tonight for me, all of the assistant coaches I had over the years, who were all part of the Shrewsbury High School basketball program during my tenure. They are the reason I stand here today, and I could not have done it without them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Keith. Next, Jim and Paul Bonelli, contributors. Jim served as the president of the Shrewsbury Education Foundation for several years. Paul became involved in athletics, where she served many years as co-president of the Booster Club. He was instrumental in starting the Shrewsbury High School swim team and freshman soccer teams. And as a member of the school committee, she was a strong supporter of the Shrewsbury High athletic program. Jay mentioned earlier, but in 2018, Jim and Paul served as co-chairs for the Shrewsbury High School campaign at Shrewsbury High School to raise $1.8 million for the new turf field at the high school. This was a community-wide effort that resulted in better and safer facility for football, soccer, lacrosse, and field hockey. We are proud to induct Jim and Paul Bonelli. Please come forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm in the middle, yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Thank you so much, Jim and Jay and everyone here. This is really an honor that we truly never expected to be receiving, but we are both very grateful and honored to be here. We're proud Shrewsbury High graduates, as are our children. Our family is here with us tonight. Our daughter Megan graduated in 1998. She was a member of the varsity soccer and swim teams. James, class of 2000, he was inducted 2 years ago into the Hall of Fame, and he was a member of the football, baseball, and basketball teams. And what Jim probably won't tell you is he was a pretty good football player back in the day. One of his coaches is here tonight. He was a mid-watch all-star, football center, and linebacker twice. Today we are happy to watch our 4 grandchildren play sports. Between the 4 of them, Abby, Katie, Jackson, and Juliet, we are able to watch them play soccer, field hockey, football, basketball, softball, baseball, and swim team. And the new one which is called foosball, which Katie says is soccer played on a basketball court. Oh, sorry. But I am without a doubt the most unathletic member of the family. But as a member of the school committee and the Booster Club co-president, I worked and supported SHS athletics as best that I could. I'm really happy to see Erin Howarth here tonight. I remember when Erin told me she wanted to start a swim team at the high school, and so we went and talked with Gordon Warren, and before you know it, we had a swim team playing, swimming on a non-regulation pool, but it was a start, and I guess the swim team is still going pretty strong. So Erin went on to have just an amazing career as a swimmer. So once again, thank you so much, and congratulations to everyone else who is an awardee tonight.
So Paula and I have been Shrewsbury Colonials and Townies for 60 years each. You should know the story of how I met Paula. It's kind of interesting. I won't go into the detail as I usually go into, but in February of 1967, I was a student manager of a basketball team, and I wish Butchie was here because he would remember that, and Jack Zona was the student manager for the varsity team. I was lucky enough to be doing the clock that night, and somehow out of the corner of my eye, I caught this pretty girl walking up the stands on the other side of the basketball court. Fast forward a month later, at a St. Patrick's Day dance in the basement of the Congregational Church in the center of Shrewsbury, I asked Paula to dance. She said yes, and I'm batting 1,000%. We've known each other now for 57 years. But the reason that that's important, not just because it's been great for us and our family, but Shrewsbury is a real special place. You know, and we've got to see kids grow up in the system. We've got to see a lot of the athletes who are now Hall of Famers, including my son. We got to watch Megan really work hard to make varsity soccer. At Shrewsbury High, we saw our son get a chance to play baseball as a freshman, first baseman. By happenstance, a couple kids getting hurt, and he never relinquished that position for the next 3.5 years. So when we think about contributors, you wonder why. It really is related to being a colonial, born and bred, and it's a real love for the town of Shrewsbury. So we're very happy to get this award. We're more happy about all the students who have gotten this award over the years and this year, and all the coaches that have gotten the award, because that's the real story. Just one quick story about the community field. We were asked to be on a committee of a lot of people, and a lot of people worked hard. But one story you don't know is we were about $250,000 short of the 1.8 million goal. And some of you may know Donnie Green. Donnie has since passed. But Donnie was working on the Adamses to get a large brick. Well, that large brick of maybe $500 turned into a $250,000 gift to name the field after the Adams family, and that put us over the top. So, you know, at the end of the day, what we've done is just try to pay back Shrewsbury over the years, because it's a great place to live, and we've had a real great honor to be part of Shrewsbury. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Congratulations, Paula. Okay.
Thank you, Jim and Paula. Next inductee is Skip Harmon, class of 1967. Skip was part of an outstanding football team at that time, 8-1 record, Class B champions. Class B champion in 1966. He participated in the track and crew team. His football skills brought him to the University of Massachusetts, and then also he was drafted by the Denver Broncos and signed with the Cleveland Browns as a football player. We are proud to welcome Skip Harmon in the Shrewsbury High School Hall of Fame. Skip.
Great thanks and gratitude towards Jim and Jay for putting this on and the committee. I've been away from this town for a long time now, but I finally came back, and I came back for this because it's such an honor, a true honor, to be recognized by you, by this community. It's changed a lot. It's changed a whole lot. As a matter of fact, growth is good, but the thing that stays so stable here is the commitment to excellence and the commitment to doing your very, very best academically and athletically. That always stays with you. Those were my roots and my founding. I coached high school football for 35 years in New Jersey. The sign of a good football program was a sign of a good school with a community that was backing and supporting them. I was very fortunate to do that. I'd like to really thank my wife for 50 years, Suzanne, for living that football life with me. I'd also like to thank my sister Jean and her husband John for coming here and being with me tonight. A couple of stories I have here was that when I was just a young, dopey kid walking down Old Mill Road, looking for something to do, I saw some guys playing basketball down by the old fire station. I'm saying, these guys are playing hard. These guys are good. And it was guys like Mo Bishalia, Dutch Holland, down the courts here, that talked me into going out for football and said, yeah, I might have something here. So I went out, and I remember working out with them during the summertime, and I remember just watching the commitment that they had to this game. I'm saying, geez, I can really get into this. But they were the people, because they were part of the Shrewsbury community, that installed in me a lot of good things that I used in my coaching and my teaching and my playing career. So great humility. I accept this tonight, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Skip. Next, from the class of 1968, Maurice Butch Bona. Butch played football, basketball, and baseball all 4 years at Shrewsbury High School. His senior year, the football team finished 7-2. The basketball team was 21-1 for the regular season, Central Mass champs, Midland League champs, Clark University tournament champs. The baseball team was 14-1. Again, Central Mass champs, Midland League champs, District 3 champions, and state semifinals. Representing Butch here tonight is his nephew, Jim Bona. Jim?
First of all, I never thought I'd be standing up here in front of this group. My claim to fame was playing football with Jim Pignataro, Coach Marquisio. When Jim got tired, he'd send me right in and bring Jim some water. That was about the best I could do. So if you want to lower your standards, it's a possibility. My uncle Butch Morris Bona sends his regrets. He wrote some words, and I'll try to go through them. It's been difficult for him to say what an honor it is being inducted to the Shrewsbury Athletic Hall of Fame. He'd like to thank all his teammates, many of whom sent letters to the Hall of Fame committee. He's been nominated by the likes of Ken Largess, and Henry Graham Petro, and he sends special thanks to Nick Todisco, who is filming here today somewhere, for nominating him this year. In general, the class of 1968 had a stellar year. The sports department did not disappoint. As Jim said, they only lost 2 games in football, 1 game in baseball, and 1 game in basketball. He'd like to thank the many coaches that helped form positive impact on the future lives of him and many of the players. Coaches like Mario Marquisio, Art Lilligren, Mike Klemenek, Bill Parquette, just to name a few. Thank you for a job well done. Thank you to their families for sharing, their husbands and fathers as well. To my grandparents, his mom and dad, 4 brothers and sisters, who were all outstanding athletes in their own right in Shrewsbury. Sports always had a huge impact on my life, especially while growing up. They taught me how to work with others, to have respect, trust, and compassion for everyone, and that also forged many lifelong friendships. I learned to be humble and winning, which we did win a lot, which isn't a very humble statement, but we also learned to be gracious in defeat. The reason he's not here tonight is my wife recently passed away, my aunt Arlene passed away, and he feels like part of him is gone, and he's still helping run a family business right now, so he sends his regrets. If he could send a message to anyone, just remember that tomorrow is not promised, and cherish your friends and family. As I said, tomorrow is not a guarantee. So, but great gratitude and humility to have my name entered into the Shrewsbury Athletic Hall of Fame, along with so many other outstanding and illustrious athletes. Thank you respectfully, Morris Butch Mona, and if I could just add one thing, I've met many of his basketball teammates over the years. I'm a Shrewsbury resident as well, and they all talked about how they loved playing with my Uncle Butch, and how he always got them the ball, and he didn't care about his own scoring or anything like that. And my uncle said to me, I know I could have scored a lot more points. He goes, but I never kept track of any numbers. I had so many good players around me. I just wanted to get them the ball so we could win. And that's kind of the spirit that he's had his whole life. So thank you all on behalf of my Uncle Butch.
Thank you, Jim. Our next inductee is Sandra Decker from the class of 1982. Sandy played all 4 years in field hockey, basketball, and softball. She was captain of all 3 sports her senior year. She was Telegram Gazette honor team in softball in junior and senior years. They were Middle League softball champions in their senior year. For those people who've been around Shrewsbury High School a long time, she was the recipient of these 2 awards, the Frank Bergstrom Award for Citizenship and Dedication, and also the Virginia Fazio Softball Award for Dedication and Excellence. She went on to Worcester State University, had a degree in Business Administration. She played field hockey, basketball, and softball at Worcester State. She currently holds the record in softball for 3 home run games with 9 RBIs. Sandy was dedicated to community service. Was a co-leader of Women's Innovation Network. Representing Sandy and her family tonight is her wife, Rose Eastman. Rose?
Sandy was a great athlete who excelled in playing and being a leader in all sports she was involved in. She was humble, never needing or wanting recognition for her efforts. While she was a fierce competitor, she competed with respect, integrity, caring, and good sportsmanship. Sandy also enjoyed coaching and mentoring others, and did so with kindness and a smile. Throughout her life, Sandy participated in all sports. While she enjoyed playing, she also was instrumental in organizing competitive and fun women's basketball and softball leagues. Athletics were an important part of Sandy's life, whether in school or organized community leagues. The friendships and the relationships that she formed there were an important part of who she was, and an important part of her life. Thank you for this recognition of Sandy. Her family is honored to accept this award in her memory. Thank you.
Thank you, Rose. Next inductee from the class of 1987, Chris McGinley. Chris played all 4 years on the football team. He was captain his senior year. He was awarded the Outstanding Lineman Award in 1987. He was a Middle League All-Star. He was a T&G Division I All-Star. And he was a Shriners Football Classic senior game participant as well. 3 people that have been inducted prior to Chris, Steve Cardozi, Duncan McCray, and Jeff Cormier, were all in that backfield for those teams. But leading the way was a lot of linemen, but especially Chris McGinley, who was an outstanding lineman back in the day at Shrewsbury High School. We're proud to induct Chris McGinley in the Shrewsbury High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Chris?
Well, thank you, everybody. It's an honor to be up here tonight. I just want to preface this before I get going is Jim called me, a couple of months ago. He told me that I was being honored. And then his second sentence was, keep it quick, and I don't want to hear you rambling on all night. Okay, Jim, no problem at all. I'm just going to start by thanking everyone here this evening for attending. I have great thanks to Coach Dutch Holland, who when I was a sophomore in high school, he started me. Now, I started at left tackle. There were bigger guys, but he started me. We went 0-10 that year, and boy, did I get beat. And I'll never forget playing Milford our senior year. We lost 55-0. And turkey just did not taste the same. But Dutch was a fantastic coach as we went along. We went 7-2 or 7-3, and then 7-2-1. So we had some really good teams. The classmen above us were fantastic. We had great leaders, and we performed, particularly in the off season. We all got involved. With Dutch was also Coach Tim Hickey. He was actually my positional coach. Tim was a great guy. He was always out there with us, and we were working on our fundamentals, and it was a great experience. Posthumously, I want to acknowledge Coach Artie Lilligren. Coach Lilligren, when I was in 7th grade, because it was still the junior high, he was a gym teacher. And Artie was kind of straight-laced, to say the least. But when I started coaching with Artie, what a wealth of knowledge. I could talk with him for hours on end, and just about football and the X's and O's, and he was just a fantastic guy. I'm going to tell you a little funny story here about, a lot of you know him as Coach Klemenick. He was Mike Klemenick to me. Mike couldn't understand how he kept getting into the weight room in off hours. And we lived in the weight room, and we were fortunate at Shrewsbury High. We had a great weight room. So, and we lived in there, particularly after going 0-10 and getting beat as sophomores. There was a core group of us that we found our way in there. Also, in passing, Bob Salucci. Salucci, as we knew him, he was fantastic to us. You know, maybe as he got older in life, he mellowed, because he was pretty hard back in his young days, but he was very, very good to us. That's where the key came from. Mike Clemenick, you know, as I had mentioned, he was fantastic. I think Mike figured it out, but he never caught us with it, so those are the good old days. I just want to acknowledge another great man that I was able to coach with. I always knew his name, but I didn't really know him until I coached with him, and that was Jack Arisi. Jack was just a man's man, a guy's guy, and boy, was he a pleasure to coach with. He did a lot with a lot of the young kids. They all knew Jack. Jack was a very powerful man in town. I didn't realize this until I talked to my father, who was the chief of police. He's like, oh yeah, I know Jack. He tells me what's going on with the FBI when they're coming around. And, you know, he could only tell me because if he told any of the other guys, it would all get spread out and they wouldn't get the guy they were looking for. So, but Jack was a lot of fun. My teammates, co-captains, Steve Cardosi, Jeff Cormier, and Duncan McRae. There was 4 of us our senior year. And to this day, we are still great friends. I just talked on my way here, I talked to Duncan and Coach Cormier. He's getting prepared. They moved the time slots for tomorrow's high school football games due to the weather, so they're playing later. He was having a night practice, so he couldn't be here. I know his brother Kevin is here, Lumpy. Last but most importantly, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Mush and Judy Cormier. When we were growing up, not one of us would be the size that we were if it wasn't for Mush and Judy's house. They fed us, we slept there, we were playing sports there. We spent more time at their house than we did at our home, and they never complained. They'd rather have us down at their house, and we loved it. So it was fantastic. I know Kevin might not have liked it so much because he was a few years younger, so we used to take it out on him a little bit, but it toughened him out. So in closing, I just want to thank one very special individual to me, and it is Jim Pignataro. Jim not only was an influence to me, a coach to me on the track side, but we did a lot of football together, football talk, weight room. He showed me a couple of weight room pictures from my sophomore year, just out in the hallway. I was laughing because I'm like, Jesus, was I that lumpy back in the day, you know, my sophomore year. But Jim was very, very special to me. He took me around to colleges that were looking at me. We went up to UNH together. We saw some big boys playing. This was back in the mid-'80s, and it was pretty impressive, you know, some of the games that we went to. And him and I went all over. Not only that, we became very close friends, working out together, doing the long runs, doing the sprints. Man, I don't know how he could beat me every time, but he was like a windmill. And then I found out he ran up the third leg of the 4x110 in his high school days, and I'm like, oh, that's like the biggest leg. But to this day, we've been great friends, and I can't thank you enough, Jim. That's all.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you, Chris. Next up, from the class of 1997, Aaron Howard Garrett. Aaron was the team MVP in 95, 96, and 97. She was an All-American 95 through 97, state champion in 2 events all years, 95 to 97, also Scholastic team again from 95 to 97. She held 2 state records In 1997, in the 100 and 200-yard freestyle, the 200 free record stood for 25 years and broken in 2022. She's a Shrewsbury High School record holder in the 100 and 200 freestyle. She went on to swim at the University of Texas at Austin, 4-year letter winner, 3-time NCAA All-American. She swam in the 2000 U.S. Olympic team trials. She ended up coaching the men's and women's swim team at UConn from 2002 to 2005. We are proud to induct into the Hall of Fame Erin Howarth Garrett.
Thank you all. Very humbling to be here. I haven't been back to Shrewsbury in probably 20 years, so thank you for giving me an excuse to come back. Thank you for the committee for inducting me into the Hall of Fame. Thank you to Brian. We've never met. You took the time to induct or write up a letter and get me nominated and brought me in. So I appreciate that, so thank you. My athletic career here at Shrewsbury did not start like everybody else's. Swimming did not exist at Shrewsbury when I arrived. So 8th grade was part of the high school. So most of 8th grade, I started to come up with some plans to figure out how I could achieve this and find a way to get swimming on the docket here at Shrewsbury. So through my freshman year, I went around and had anybody I thought could swim sign a petition. And so I went around, and I can't remember exactly how many signatures we had by the end, but went into Mr. Warren's office and pleaded our case. And so to him and to everybody in the boosters, to the athletic department, thank you for saying yes. Thank you to our parents, because we were not funded in any part of the years I swam here. So our parents had to fund us, had to travel, bus us everywhere. We had to find the pools. We had to do everything. So for all of that, thank you. And really, other than that, my family was a huge support. They really helped make sure that all of this happened, and I truly would not be where I am today without the support of the school, the administrators, the teachers, because I needed a lot of support through my entire career to get to where I am now. So for all of you, again, thank you, and it's an honor to be here. Thanks.
Thank you, Erin. Next, from the class of 1998, Tim Finicone. Tim was participated on the football indoor and outdoor track team with football captains. He was a Wayne Lundstrom Award winner, Lineman of the Year. He was a Midwalk League All-Star multiple years, TNG All-Star multiple years, TNG Super Team All-Star senior year, Shriners All-Star Game senior year. Senior year statistics, 120 tackles, 15 sacks, 1 interception, and 1 touchdown. Team made the 1997 Super Bowl that year. In indoor track, he was Milwaukee League All-Star. School record senior in the shot put 51 feet, 7 inches. Went on to attend UMass Lowell, played football there. We thank him because he is a proud member of the Shrewsbury Police Department for 23 years, currently as the rank of lieutenant. We proudly induct Tim Finicone in the Shrewsbury High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Tim.
I apologize, I'm a terrible public speaker, so this will be short and sweet. Thank you, Jim. Good evening, everyone. I am deeply honored to be inducted into the Hall of Fame tonight. First and foremost, I would like to thank the often overlooked heroes, the teachers who shaped me. I want to thank the committee for this incredible recognition. Gordon Warren, who was the athletic director at the time, and also the current athletic director, Jay Costa, who I have known since I was a child, and we grew up as kids. Back then, we all thought he was going pro, but in hindsight, this was obviously a dodgeball because of all the responsibilities. To all the past coaches, I would like to thank you for their guidance. Specifically to Coach Mahoney, your life lessons, both on and off the field, they remain with me today. To my parents, who couldn't be here because they had passed, Mom and Dad, although you could not be here today, I would like to thank you for your sacrifices and unwavering dedication. You gave me the foundation to grow as an athlete and as a person. And finally, to my wife and to my children, your love and support mean the world to me. This honor is as much mine as it is yours. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Tim.
Thank you, Tim. From the class of 2005, Todd Kittleson. 4 years football, 4 years winter track and field, 4 years spring track and field, captain of both the track teams. Midwalk League All-Star in 2004, Midwalk All-Star in winter track 2004, spring track in 2004, the District E Athletic Directors Association Award winner. He won the Colonial Award, which is the most outstanding senior athlete, male athlete. Central Mass Division I, winter track, 300 meter, first place. Division III state meet winter track winner, record setting time 35.45. Nationals, winter track and field, 26th fastest runner in the country in the 200 meter dash. We welcome him to the Shrewsbury High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
I typically talk every few weeks at a faculty meeting at my school, and I have no problem talking, but I have a problem talking right now, so I'll go fast. Just a massive thank you to the committee for even considering me, much less electing me. Massive, massive thank you, and I deeply appreciate that. To my parents, Mom and Dad, attended all my meets, all my games. I was ranked nationally in high school, and I told them with about 5 days to go, we're going to New York City to run a race. And I don't know if you had plans that weekend, but the plans had changed, so I appreciate that. My brother Keith, we always played as kids, and we would run football routes and just go crazy in the grass, and a lot of my, I think, accomplishments stem from our competitive nature, so thank you, Keith. Incredible coaches, Martha, just an incredible intellect, an incredible way about helping people. Many of you know Coach Costa as athletic director. He was my coach, one of my first coaches, a true mentor and a true leader. Ian, I can't begin to thank Ian for all of what I've done. Everything I've done would not be possible without you, and I truly mean that. Ian Butterfield, thank you so much. It was senior year in high school, and I'm gonna lean. It was senior year in It was senior year in high school, and I was the last person to keep on going in states, and it was winter break, and I'm sure you had other things to do or other things you wanted to do, but you chose to meet me at the high school for 7 straight days at 8 in the morning. I will never forget that, and I just commend you, and I thank you all for everything you did for me. Ian, again, honestly, just one fast story no one knows about me except for Ian, and actually he, I think, told a lot of people, so maybe everyone knows it, but I'll tell it again. After my freshman year in football, I didn't know what to do, but I wanted to be a part of a team, so I chose track, and I didn't know much about track, and I still don't know that much about it, but Ian helped me out, and it was the first day, and at that time Costa was the head coach, and Costa was full of enthusiasm, and he was ready to go, and he said, everyone who's a distance, go over here, and all you throwers over here, and all you sprinters over here. And I was kind of getting pushed around a cluster of people. I didn't know where to go, but I was definitely not a thrower. But I said, I guess I'll run distance. And no disrespect, Murray, but I ran about 4 miles, and I thought this was the most miserable experience I've ever had. And I came back, and I'm not a quitter, so I came back the next day, and we must have ran to Boston, it felt like. And then I said to myself, this doesn't get any worse, does it? So I came back the next day and asked my very good friend Mike D'Alessandro, I said, Mike, you're a sprinter. Do you just sprint the entire time? He goes, no, you sprint for about 10, 12 seconds, and you take a two minute break. Sign me up. So I finished my career sprinter. Again, massive thank you to the committee for even thinking about me, but electing me. Coach Butter, Coach Martha, and Coach Costa, I hope when I wore the jersey, I hope it well. And I did it right for you guys. Thank you all so very, very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. Oh. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Next from the class of 2011, John Murray. John has history for track teams. He was Colonial Award winner in 2011. Again, it's given to the top male athlete in the graduating class. 2010, he was the cross-country Massachusetts Gatorade Athlete of the Year. In 2010, Massachusetts cross-country state champion. In 2011, Massachusetts indoor track 2-mile state champion. School record holder in the mile and 2-mile. Cross-country team qualified for states all 4 years of high school. He's a 12-time Mid-Walk League All-Star. Went on to compete at Georgetown University and is currently a cross-country and track coach at Northeastern University. Welcome into the Hall of Fame, John Murray.
Congratulations. Please remember.
Thank you, Jim. Got a few remarks here. So a lot of people to thank. Big family, big community. Truthfully, I'm so fortunate that I was born into the supportive family that I was, and so fortunate to have grown up in the community that I did. Both my family and community provided me the opportunity to figure out my interests and strengths and develop them over time. Not every kid gets that opportunity, but I did, and I'm very grateful to have benefited from being given that chance. Specifically, I was immensely fortunate to have the father that I did, who shared his love for track and field with me and spent much time and care into training, coaching, and developing me the right way over my middle school and high school years, always challenging me to be the best that I could be and to always give my best effort and to always be disciplined. He always stepped aside too, giving me the space and autonomy that I needed to decide my trajectory of my own athletic pursuits. My father coached me in track at Shrewsbury High School and helped develop me into one of the best runners in the country. He helped train me physically, but also helped train me psychologically, getting me to really believe in myself, and helped me to learn how to take risks, to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And without him, I would not have accomplished what I did. So thank you, Dad. I was so fortunate to have the mother that I did, who nourished me with only the most fresh and whole foods between training sessions, drove me to my practices when I couldn't drive. And when I couldn't drive, I always let me borrow a car to go to training sessions at the Wachusett Reservoir, which is my favorite place to train. And who always came to watch me race and was always there to love and comfort me through my triumphs and my tragedies. So thank you, Mom. I was so fortunate to have the older brothers that I did, who I got to look up to and compete with, and who taught me how to compete, always including me in competitive sports opportunities in the neighborhood and the Shrewsbury youth circuit. I was so fortunate to have my sisters that I did, who always felt like they were my biggest fans. I always wanted to know about my races and wanted to be there to support me. So thank you, Luke, Mark, Elizabeth, Juliana, and Olivia. Thank you so much. For my community, I'm so fortunate to have had both Jim and Marcia Smith as teachers and coaches in my life. Marcia was my reading teacher at Spring Street School, and for me, those early years of school were a real challenge. Struggling with dyslexia, I couldn't quite keep up with my classmates, and Marcia was the one who would pull me out of the classroom and spend one-on-one time with me, teaching me at the pace that I needed. And at that time, I hated it. I felt humiliated and just wanted to read normally and have it come naturally like it did for the rest of my classmates. But now I see how fortunate I was to have Mrs. Smith and to have her patience teaching a dyslexic, insecure kid with a bad attitude how to read. Years later, when I decided to go up for the cross-country team, I met Mrs. Smith's husband, Jim. And Jim was the longtime cross-country coach at Shrewsbury High School. And I was so fortunate to be graced by another person who took great care in training, coaching, motivating, and developing me the right way over my high school career. Coach Smith was someone who carried immense hope, faith, belief, optimism, and positivity with him at all times around his athletes. He coached, and that positive attitude built confidence in his athletes. Driving me home from practice one day, my freshman year, he stopped the car in my parents' driveway and said with such conviction and belief, "Listen, John, it's not a matter of if, rather it's a matter of when you're going to be the best runner in the state. And look, it's going to happen, and your dad and I are going to help you get there." I'll never forget that, and despite his quirks that made him so uniquely Coach Smith, from that moment on, I had such great trust, faith in him, and made a commitment to the best that I could for his teams. I look back and I was so lucky to have been guided by a leader who was so invested in all his athletes, and especially a young and hungry developing talent like me. Coach Smith sadly passed away in June this past year. And if he's not already in this Hall of Fame, then I believe it's immensely appropriate and deserving to induct him and his family for their 30 years of service and success coaching the cross-country team at Shrewsbury High School. And a big shout out to my father now, who's carrying the mantle in his first year as head coach of the Shrewsbury boys, taking over Jim's position in his team qualifying for the state meet this past year and placing 13th overall. I was also so fortunate to have been given the opportunity to run for Ian Butterfield and his track teams at Shrewsbury High School. Coach Butterfield helped me understand the importance of team when it came to track and how we got more out of each other in our individual events when we were doing it for more than just ourselves. And it's true. I see that in my current line of work as a coach at Northeastern. Sometimes athletes think you need to trade the individual success for team success, but I don't think that's true. I think you maximize your individual success when your intrinsic motivation comes from within and doing it for the team rather than self. To this day, I tell my athletes at the high school and collegiate level that track and cross country is a team sport. So who cares about the individual stuff? Not me. I don't care. I care about the team. And it's about us. So some of the most fun that I had in my high school years were on those league and district championship winning teams in the mid-watch and the district E champions, and I'll never forget that, and I'm just really grateful to be instilled with those important lessons of team from Coach Butterfield and that opportunity.
At the end of the day, I was the beneficiary of strong leaders who set good examples in my household and in my community. And that's what helped me actualize my potential and inspired me to invest myself into a career in leadership through coaching. Great coaches like my father, Jim Smith, Ian Butterfield are the ones who teach the skills of leadership to young people. And it's quite obvious if you look at the current state of our community, our state, our nation, that skill isn't taught enough. Yet it's a skill that can be most important to someone's life and most important to a community. Great leaders are good at getting those that they lead to believe in themselves and their capabilities. And I received that from my coaches. Every day before I go to work as a coach myself, I remind myself that I have an opportunity to help someone actually believe in themselves and actually have a meaningful impact on them. And I look forward to that challenge every day. So the way I see it, without my family and community of coaches and teachers here in Shrewsbury, there's no chance a short, scrawny, insecure, anxious, dyslexic kid from Central Mass gets the opportunity to attend Georgetown University, earn a degree, and get the chance to be coached by some of the greatest track and field coaches in the United States, then move on to get an opportunity to coach himself and lead the next generation of emerging American talent in sport. None of this has been easy, yet I feel immensely full and fortunate to have experienced all of this and have made the most of my experiences. So thank you to the Shrewsbury High School Hall of Fame Committee. Thank you to my family. Thank you to the Shrewsbury School District. Thank you to the Shrewsbury Athletics Department and Jay Costa. And thank you to all my coaches who have had a profound impact on my life. And I'm just very fortunate, and go Lions.
Skip one of you, John. Thank you, John. From the class of 2014, Dominique Hall. Participated in indoor and outdoor track and field. Numerous things that she was successful at. 2011 to 2014, indoor district champion 300 meters. She was also a mid-walk indoor champion 300 meters. 2013 to 14, state class A indoor champion 300 meters. In 2014, second place in the All-State Indoor Championships in the 300 meters. In 2014, second place in the New England Championships in 300 meters. And again, mid-walk, outdoor champion, District A class champion in the 200 meters. In 2011 to 2014, indoor track, MVP and captain. Spring track, MVP and captain. Mid-walk, indoor track league all-star. Spring track league all-star. Telegram Gazette indoor track all-star. Telegram Gazette home team athlete of the year. And she also holds a school record in 300 and 200 meters. She went on to compete collegiately at Georgia Tech. We welcome into the Hall of Fame, Dominique Hall.
Still two.
Wow. Well, good evening, everyone. I can't express enough what an honor it is to be here with you all tonight. And congratulations to all of the other inductees as well. Truly, congratulations. As I scan around the room, I see so many familiar faces, so many bright faces of those who really poured into me throughout my journey. But I am particularly drawn to this side of the room here, as I want to express a special thanks to my precious parents whose sacrifices and even commuting me to and from Shrewsbury High School each and every day for class, for practice, for the track meets, as I was actually a school choice student, so from Worcester, actually. So it was actually quite an honor to even get to attend Shrewsbury High. I'd also like to thank my precious brother, my Uncle Guy, who are also seated here today, as well as my beautiful track mother, Martha O'Donnell. Yes. So, this address would actually be quite incomplete as well, without paying a special tribute to Coach DiPilato, who is not here with us tonight, as he has passed away. But Coach DiPilato was my head coach. He was the rock that really developed me throughout my time competing. Though he's not here with us today, he's left a profound impact on my life. And so these next few words that I get to share, I'd really like to dedicate to his memory and his legacy. So tonight has actually been quite reflective for me, as you'd imagine, seeing all of these familiar faces from, 14 years ago. I've had a big full circle moment. So with that, I'd like to perhaps share a part of my testimony, if that's all right with you all. I'm someone who actually struggled a lot. I hated the word purpose for a long time. It felt like an overused word, really meant to pressure us into identifying with maybe something temporal or an active achievement, especially being an athlete where it can quickly become your full identity. So especially in high school, I didn't know what my true identity was, let alone what I was purposed for. But I knew that I had this talent that had been instilled in me by God, by good genetics perhaps as well, as we were talking over at the table. Purpose felt bitter. It felt like the sting of repeat 400s with Coach D, with the stop clock in his hand, saying, again, with the repetitious 200. The bitterness came, though, I've come to realize, was through the obstacles that my heart was actually too small to fully embrace and contain the grace that I was actually receiving through it all. It required a lot of the hard work, long hours, sacrificing my comfort daily in order to make it to where I am today. But when I once was a person who was not able to fully perceive the grace of all of the sacrifice and the pouring into me that had actually been occurring the entire time. So by way of Shrewsbury High School support, I was led to receive a Georgia Tech scholarship where I got to compete in the ACC conference. I saw many familiar faces at that level as well. Amy Collins, notably, who was a rival of mine. She'd gone to Wachusett and then met me again as she'd gone to Wake Forest, and I attended Georgia Tech. So that was really wonderful. But yes, I'd like to ask actually a question. Are we familiar with the term familial piety? Anyone? It's okay. All right. So it's a classical Chinese term, actually, and its meaning could be broken down. But when you look at the characters of it, at the top portion of the character, it symbolizes like someone older or an elder, if you will. And then the bottom portion shows a child or a son. So in short, the characters look like a son carrying the elder on their back. And so filial piety is really my reminder of what it means to pay back the grace that I've received. Coach D as an example, right? His selflessness rather, by staying well beyond his retirement years to continue to pour into me. his commitment towards really developing this athlete who had maybe the raw talent, but needed a lot of development and care and nurturing and encouragement, right? So he's just one of many examples, but this has inspired me to carry this example forward. So by following this example, I'm humbled to be now in a place where I can confidently say that I am now walking in my purpose. So my determination now, my determination and my hope now is to help other athletes like myself who maybe struggle with hearing the word purpose by helping them to find their unique identity and mission beyond the sport, just as so many people have helped me to find mine. So I'm now a mentor, actually, for an organization called CIAA, Christian International Athletic Association, where I get to do just that. So thank you to everyone who has poured into me, whether it be a kind word, cheering me on from the stands. This honor, it belongs to all of us. And my prayer is that all of us here today can partake in the loving display of filial piety. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dominique. And let's give a round of applause for all the inductees here tonight. I will share with all the inductees the photos that were taken here tonight with you via email, so I'll get that up to you within the next week or so. At this time, we would ask the inductees to please gather in the back of the room for a group picture so family and friends can take a picture of them. But we thank everybody for coming out here tonight and wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much.